As you probably know, an estimated 2 million individuals with serious mental illness are booked into our county jails every year, with almost 3/4 of that population also experiencing a substance use disorder.
It is abundantly clear that promoting positive mental health is fundamental to that work. But when we try to apply a business model to our schools and treat our students as commodities, making the necessary investments in mental health supports and social emotional learning gets sidelined in favor of a more simplistic bottom line.
My name is Gavyn Codr.
Hello, I'm Sallee, and this project is going to be dedicated towards mental awareness and helping our younger generation. But first, how can we see this newfound epidemic if people don't like to talk about it openly with us, and it's not so evident that it's happening? Well, first, let's let stats and numbers show the severity of this newfound epidemic. This graph represents depression rates from the year 2015 to the year 2023. The blue represents if people have experienced depression in their lifetime, while the purple represents people who are actually being affected. Now, this is 2015, sitting with 20%. Now, here's 2023 with an increase of 9% added onto people who have experienced depression. It's very evident that mental illness has gotten worse over the years. The newfound question is, how does it affect someone like a student? Let's leave that up to Mr. Dostal.
My name is Terry Dostal. I work at Aspen Creek Middle School. I am a school counselor.
How does having a negative psychological well-being affect students at our school?
It affects every part of the day. So from how they interact at the beginning of the school day to how they're doing in class, everything's tied, intertwined together. So we have some kiddos when they're feeling bad about themselves, they have a rough time during the day, which then affects school homework completion, how they do on quizzes and tests. You don't really care about school when you're having a crappy day. Any type of stress, any type of anxiety is going to weigh on you. The longer you keep it in, it's going to build up. We always kind of use the reference of a volcano. You know, it builds, it builds, it builds. It's going to pop sometime. You just don't know when, where.
It's very evident how having a bad mental well-being can affect something like school. However, the main issue with this is that when you have a bad mental well-being, it starts to turn into this spiral that just keeps continuing, and it looks like there's no way to get out of this hole.
So what would we do?
The simple way to get around this is by simply talking to someone. You might not understand how much it could go, but just by letting your mind get out there and letting someone else hear it can go a long way. And that's all I'm asking you to do. Tell someone how you feel. How does modern society block out kids' voices and make it harder for them to show what they are feeling?
I don't know if it blocks it out. I do think, social media has pros and cons, but I do think social media wise also allows kids to have their voices heard. Kids have platforms where they can be heard. Maybe some adults maybe don't always listen, but I do think there's platforms out there for them. So I don't know if it's necessarily, I wouldn't necessarily reference it as a blackout. I've been doing this gig for a long time, since 2004. So back in 2004, 2005, I had kids who were cutting. I had kids who were attempting suicide. It's almost 2024. We still have kids who are cutting. Still have kids who are talking about suicide.
It's very evident how mental illness has become something of our culture, slowly integrated into everything you see. You might see it in TikTok or documentary. You just don't know. However, the thing with mental illness is now, it's something very bad, and people don't know how to solve it. So here comes the underlying issue. How do we solve it? And for that, I think everyone needs to stand up and do something very simple. Go around and ask someone how they feel. Might be very simple, however, this is great because some people, that's all they need. They need someone to just ask them how they feel. And now, I'm going to ask you, are you going to take this step? Or are you going to ask someone how they feel? And maybe you need someone to ask you how you feel. So that's all I'm asking. Thank you for watching.